Good morning to everyone, and welcome to our panel, Media 2021-2027, Collaboration and New Challenges. The objective of our event, which is organized with my colleague, the Creative Europe Desk Media in Croatia, Serbia, Bulgaria, and Italy, is to discuss about the new media subprogram, its new structure, methodologies, and scheme, focusing on the importance of transnational collaboration, how central collaboration is in the new program, and how it contributes to a more level playing field participation, especially between countries with different audiovisual capacity and sites, starting from the performances of the last program, the previous program, Media 2014-2020, we will see the new sets of measures which are foreseen in the new clusters. I would like first to introduce my colleagues. Martina Petrovic, head of the Creative Europe Media Desk in Croatia. Hello, Martina.
Hello.
Una Domazetowski, head of the Creative Europe Desk Media in Serbia. Good morning, Una.
Good morning, and bravo for pronunciation of my surname. Even in Serbia, they don't manage.
Okay, thank you.
Bravo.
And then Kamen Balkanski, head of the Creative Europe Media Desk in Bulgaria. Hello, Kamen. Good morning.
Hello, everybody. Pleasure to be with you all.
Thank you, Kamen. And finally, the director of the Lecce European Film Festival, which is taking place now in Lecce, and which is hosting us, even if virtually. So Alberto Lamonica, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
And
welcome, and looking forward to welcoming you physically in Lecce next edition.
We really hope so. Alberto, I will give the floor to you for a welcoming speech. Please, Alberto.
Thank you, Andrea. Hello again to everybody. I'm very proud to host such an important event, and as said, really looking forward to welcome all of you the next edition, 2022. The 23rd edition will take place in Lecce from the 30th April to the 7th of May. So I really hope that all of you will join us. So as Andrea said, the festival is going and will last tomorrow. Is the closing day with the award ceremony. Festival del Cinema Europeo, European Film Festival. Of course, we focused on European cinema, and that's why we are particularly proud to host such an event of Creative Europe. And our festival, we have, as always, 10 films from 10 different European countries in competition for the Golden Olive Tree Cristina Soldano Award. And as always, we pay homage to one of the most important European directors or Italian actors in this year is still in Lecce. Istvan Zabó, one of the most important Hungarian director, Oscar winner with Mephisto, as you remember, 40 years ago. And also we have a special program on European cinema, thanks to our cooperation with the European Parliament. since the beginning, we hosted the Lux Prize films, the finalists, the 3 films, and this year too, of course. And we also have a special program in cooperation with the European Film Academy. It's called EFA Shorts. We will screen all the shorts that have been nominated for the European Film Academy Best Short Film. Once again, thank you for being even virtually with us, and I hope that and I wish you a good luck with your work and with your meeting. I hope that all of you have already marked our dates in your agenda.
Thank you, Alberto. We will see maybe next year or in a few months in Lecce. We really hope so. Thank you again. And
I suppose we will meet first in Berlin, no? Hopefully.
For sure.
So, and we can also in Berlin have the chance to plan the activities for the Lecce next edition.
Thank you, Alberto.
Okay. Thank you once again, and my warmest regards from Lecce.
Thank you, Alberto, and bye.
Bye.
Before giving the floor to Martina Petrovic, which we do an introduction of the new media program, I would like to remind to our participant that it's possible to put your question on the box, the chat box. So we will collect them, and at the end we will discuss about it in a Q&A session, which is foreseen at the end of our panel. So now I will give the floor to Martina. Please, Martina.
Thank you, Andrea. As always, I'm happy to see my dear friends and colleagues. I know it's been a long while since we really see each other physically, but let's put our hopes for the next time that we really do it live. So welcome again. Well, somehow we are closing this week with your event, Andrea, because you initiated it and you put us together. And we are somehow celebrating also, on one hand, 30 years of media, but also the new Creative Europe Media Program for the next period, 21-27. And it's also the turning point because we are still celebrating our success national stories within the media context, but we are also looking forward to the first results of the first calls of the new program. And indeed, as you highlighted it in your introduction, the collaboration is the key word, and not only collaboration between us as desks, but also between our potential applicants and beneficiaries. And I'm happy that despite the fact that it was quite stressful to publish the new program and the calls, that European Parliament and the European Commission recognize the importance of continuing in financing the creative and cultural sectors, especially the audiovisual one. So let me start by sharing my screen, because as you know me, I always have something to show. And there are lots of buttons here. So let me first put it in the full screen. Just a second. Slideshow, play from the start. Okie dokie. So let's see if it goes. It doesn't. So basically, as I mentioned, this year we're celebrating 30 years of media, and even since '91, the program has been recognized as one of the important EU funds for supporting the European audiovisual industry. And ever since then, it's been going on in terms of being single, but then since 2014 to 2020, the media merged with the culture subprogram, creating the Creative Europe program. So I'm going to tackle how we did it in the past, and then I will continue with the new highlights. So basically, let me move the buttons. Media has been recognized as the important chunk of the whole Creative Europe budget. And we all know that we are tackling here 14 calls for proposals in comparison to the calls much less in culture subprogram. And already in 2014, there were some novelties by introducing international co-production funds, video games, and audience development. If you look at the overall program, by analyzing the national Croatian results, I also analyzed the total results, and we had the participation of 39 countries, which means that we had the participation of 28 the European Union member countries, including the full membership of the countries such as Albania, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Montenegro, Serbia, and North Macedonia, but also the partial participation of Tunisia, Ukraine, Moldova, and Georgia. And in this period, 2014-2020, there were 11,522 projects supported with 736 million of euros. So if you look at it in terms of the other capacities, so we know that we are different in terms of our territories, in terms of our national financing, GDP, excuse me, and in this balance, we need to somehow have three different structures. So we have Big Five, which existed in the period 2014-2020, like the UK, Germany, France, Spain, Italy, and I'm missing someone, France, Italy, UK, Spain, and Germany, yeah. Medium capacity, a total of 9 countries, and the small as the biggest 21 plus 4, including the partial membership countries. So in terms of the financing, you can see a difference in terms of the numbers. So there was a total of, as I said, 736 million of euros divided between those three, as Big Five are taking the most from the financing point of view. In terms of the projects, the small countries or low visual capacity countries have the highest number of projects being supported, but with the least financing amounts. Then the second are the Big Five, and then the medium capacity with 3,840 projects. Since we're going to tackle most of the content cluster and development of our films, it's the core and the essence of the whole program, I also would like to single out how we did it in terms of the single project development. Today, it's called co-development call for proposals. So there was a total of 995 projects supported. Big Five we had a support of 314 projects, medium or 9 countries 316, and small without the partial membership countries 365. And as you can see, the funding has been distributed like more or less with 13 million, but let me go back with the project. So less projects in Big Five were supported with the highest amount, and then we have the medium capacity countries and small having 13 million and 80,000. In terms of the genre, we are also aware that recently we were also tackled by some concerns from the documentary and animation sector, letting us know that they want to be somehow equally recognized and acknowledged. we see that the fiction takes the highest amount of numbers of projects supported. Then we have documentaries, and then we have animation. We all know that it's a bit difficult to fulfill the criteria for the animation projects. In terms of the financing by genre, again, fiction takes it all. Most of it, right? So the fiction is costly, of course, and then the creative documentaries having 7.6 million euros. When we go into the new program, 21-27, so the good point was that there was a raise in the budget. A bit, not a negative, but a challenging point is that we have more calls even in the new program. Still, media will keep the highest budget chunk. So now we have 58% of financing of the total budget going to the media, and we still have 39 countries. Even though without the UK, we have Liechtenstein joining in. I would say the number 3 is somehow the symbolic number, because not only that we have 3 sub-programs like culture, media, and cross-sectorial, we also have somehow 3 cutting priorities. So there will be more focus on collaboration, greening, diversity, and inclusion. So in terms of the clusters, 16 calls are distributed among 3 clusters. This is a huge difference in comparison to the previous program. And today we're going to tackle most of it, the content cluster. Co-development is actually ex-single. Then we have mini slate reserved only for low visual capacity countries, slate funding, TV and online content, video games and immersive content going to be published for the next year. Business is focusing on strengthening the young and emerging talent, but also B2B activities. And us, the desks, are really looking forward to see what this Media 360 is going to offer, because it's a novelty in the whole calls for proposals. So talents and skill are so-called X-training. We have markets and networking. We're going to tackle those 2 today. And then we also have innovative tools and business models, and 2 calls devoted to distribution. In the audience sector, the good old gang of Europa Cinemas, so join a network of art house cinemas at the European level. We have European festivals. We have a novelty introducing, due to especially the COVID-19 situation, but the importance of VOD networks. And then also a couple of calls tackling the distribution and subtitling, like Films on the Move and Arte. And now we have the merge of audience, which used to be the audience development, transferred into film education. We have both of them merged together and being titled as one call, audience development and film education. So as Andrea mentioned, we're going to focus more on this level playing field, which means equal presentation of the projects and countries participating in the program throughout the all calls, transparency when it comes to the results, because we are aware that sometimes, especially in the distribution sector, it's not clear and it's not visible when, in terms of our national distribution results, how much one distributor receives per distribution of non-national film. And of course, this diversity of European films really be respected in terms of all calls, all 16 calls. And before we go into any details, it's important to highlight that due to our success stories, some countries were moved into, there was a division between low visual capacity countries into 2 different categories. So Group A is now consisted of Croatia, Czech Republic, Estonia, Greece, Poland, and Portugal. As you can see, Poland is no longer medium capacity country. It has been moved to low visual capacity, Group A. And then we are waiting, and hopefully it's gonna be finalized soon, the signature of the memorandums or agreements with the countries such as Albania, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Serbia, North Macedonia, but we also have the usual suspects such as Bulgaria, Cyprus, Hungary, Iceland, Latvia, newcomer Liechtenstein, Lithuania, Luxembourg, Malta, Slovakia and Slovenia. So the novelty, as I mentioned, is the mini slate reserved for the low individual capacities. And in terms of the co-development, we don't longer have one company applying for one project, but two companies applying for one film. And due to the given circumstances and situation, the TV programming call is now joined with the online content as well. So in terms of the business Edonians cluster, it's important to highlight that there are no longer scholarships for participants coming from the group A from the low visual capacity. There is more how shall I say, more emphasis on diversity and visibility of European films when it comes to distribution. And we can tackle also the notion, how to preserve the importance of cinema through the Europa cinemas versus European VOD networks. And of course, the ongoing struggle when it comes to the application of single festivals and festival networks. This has been kind of a lot of fuss about it, since festivals want to keep their own novelties, and they're not so willing to join in network. So this is for the beginning, and from my behalf.
Thank you, Martina. Really a lot of stuff, a really clear presentation and wonderful presentation. Thank you again. So before analyzing the various scheme, the measure for the level playing field measures, I think it's good to analyze national performance, starting from what you said in your presentation, Martina, about the different size of participating countries. So analyzing which are the performances, starting from Kamen. So sorry, Kamen. What happened in Bulgaria? Can you give us some data?
Yes, thank you very much for giving me the floor, Andrea. The data are in your hands, so you can share the screen. But before this, I just want to say that, of course, our industries are completely different. We have completely different national support schemes. We have completely different dynamic of the film industries. We have different budgets for the support of the national in the hand of the national film centers, because they're in our case in Bulgaria, the National Film Center is the powerful and the only source of financing. It's I think in our region, the Balkan region, nothing to do with my name, but we all have one very centralized source of financing, and this is one of our problems, because the people working in the industries are very much depending from this source of financing. The second source of financing is, of course, the media program of the European Union, of the European Commission. And this is the important point to be stressed and to be discussed. And this is the point we are discussing since many years. Why our industries are somehow not really presented in this, what we saw from the presentation of Martina. You see many projects supported, but with a very small amount of money. You see a lot of single projects, but at the end, a lot of countries which are participating in this bunch of projects. So the discussion of the level playing field is still ongoing, and this is also our topic today. Now, if you want to have a very quickly overview of the Bulgarian situation, this, of course, taking this data out of the context, you cannot really see the real picture. But just to give you an idea, what is the general state support in Bulgaria for the film industry, we have around 6 million euro for the period we are speaking about, 2014-2020. 6 million state support for the audiovisual industry. In this frame, in this general picture, you will see how the European support is divided in the different schemes of support. We have the online promotion with a very, very small amount of money for these 7 years, 24,000 and something. The TV programming, which is extremely competitive and quite difficult scheme for the small countries, because this is something which is connected with a lot of efforts to find the co-producer, to find the broadcaster to jump in on board. So also not very well presented. Probably the most important support coming from the media program is going through the Europa Cinemas network to our cinemas, and this is the highest percentage of European support coming in our industry, 17%. You will see on the next slide. Then I will stress also on the automatic support, which is decreasing in the last years of the program, unfortunately, because of the changes of the scheme of support and introducing the new structure of this support together with the selective support scheme. We all know that at the beginning that was very, very interesting for the distributors, for the single distributor scheme. But at the end of the program, the sales agents took over the organization and the leading position in this schemes. So automatic and selective, if we take both of them, we will have a highest percentage. But let's also see what is interesting in this in our discussion is the single project versus slate funding. In many countries in our region, the low capacity countries, to make a slate is quite a challenging work, because the producers are not so powerful, not so strong. So keeping the single project scheme for us was something which was essential and which was really important, because the criteria, the eligibility criteria was more friendly, let's say, for our industry. Now with the new scheme, with the new program, we have the co-development, which is logically developed, strategically developed call, because we all know that the European funds should be also distributed for projects which put European dimension. So the co-development is interesting and logical development of the call cells. We don't know how it will work, but from what we know, the deadline was in these days. We are doing our discussion now. What I got from the first feedback from our participants and our producers is that they have troubles and problems to find on this very early stage of the development of the film project, to find a co-producer and to find a co-developer. Probably this is too new for them to make binding contracts and to make a collaboration on this early stage. Eventually, in the upcoming calls, it will be much more structurized and much more put in a normal way. But for the first one, it was a bit stressy for them. I'm curious to see how it will work. Let's jump to the next slide, which is the percentage of this data. You will see again this cake with all the percentage. The most supported thing is Europa Cinemas, and we have also the automatic support, etc. As a netto, the next slide will show you how Bulgaria was presented during these 7 years, which passed already. Again, this is a very specific data and specific numbers, netto numbers of the different years support for our industry. I will say, because I always asking myself, probably my colleagues also, they are asking ourselves with what to compare the European support. How shall we compare with the national support eventually, or regional support schemes? So we said that we have an average of 8 to 9% support coming from the European media program, comparing with the national support schemes. If we have, let's say, 6 million coming from the state budget, so we have around 600,000 average support coming from the European Commission, which means an added value for the industry of 10% to our specific Bulgarian industry. I will finish with this because I only wanted to briefly show you the situation in our small country, but would like to stress again that, and this is part of our ongoing discussion, that the small countries are part of the big program. And if we look at the program as a house with many doors, there are countries which have keys for all the doors. And in our hands, in our small country, we are in the house, but we don't have the key for every door. So this is what we are trying to stress and to present and to discuss, that we want to enter also in the other rooms. And it will be possible, of course, with the strong collaboration with the big countries, which usually have much more keys for the doors. And this is also one of the good things of our network, the media network, the media desk network. So we can find the ways between us to help our stakeholders with future collaborations. Thank you.
Thank you, Kamen. For sure, we will continue in this way, promoting other events, maybe market events next year in Lecce or in another place. I think you gave us a lot of insights, and also speaking about the new portal, no, the new system that the Commission provide to participants to apply. And it's challenging, it's quite new. So I think it's quite normal to have some difficulties in these few months, starting from June, no, till August, until the 17th of this month, during which we will have the deadline for the European co-development. So we need to practice a little bit and to taste it, this new portal. It will be interesting also to understand, as Martina said at the beginning, the performances, no, on the new European co-development and in every scheme in 2021. And maybe another instrument, as you said, Kamen, could be the mini slate. You know, you presented the slate performances in Bulgaria. Maybe I'm really I can't wait to see, you know, which opportunities we give to producer and in general to our organization this instrument, this new scheme. So thank you again, Kamen, and I will give the floor to Una. Una, please.
Hello to everybody, and thank you for inviting me, because I'm quite new in this media thing, because I actually work in the film center, and now I'm overtaking the media desk. We still didn't sign the contract with the European Commission, but we hope it will be until end of November. And now I will share my screen for the results that we had in past, from 2014 to till 2020. Till 2020, actually, we entered the media in. Just a second. Do you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Now I will make it to be just a second to be full screen. Okay, great. So we entered actually in end of 2015. So the producers start to apply in 2016 for the first time. They didn't, because we entered in the December of 2015, and we made the media desk in the beginning of 2016. So you can see the results that they started applying in 2016, where we had the total amount that the total support is for our country is really big, because we are a really small country, and we gain 3,607,000 109 million euros. And you can see in the 2016, the results in 2017, 2018, 2019, and 2020, we had more than, we were really successful, because we are a small country, and we had 150 supported projects, and we had 30 plus supported organizations, companies, and institutions. And for this amount of 3 million something euros, the development and production of audiovisual works took 38% of the whole budget. Then the audience development was 27%. Then distribution of European audiovisual works took 29%, and access to market took 6%. And Also, in total, we had supported for the development and production of audiovisual works, we had supported 21 companies. We had for development supported 35 projects, which was 9 documentaries, 24 fictions, and 1 animation, which is good. Also, we had supported 1 video game, which was very good because they won the support of 150,000 euros. And then we had also 3 slates, which is really good for our producers because we are really small cinematography. But maybe the things change because also in 2016, the budget of the film center went very high. We went for lower than 1 million euro to 8 million euros. So maybe it has to do with that because the state saw that the cinematography is really important. So they gave much more money into the film, and also they opened the film commission, which we didn't have in previous years, and now we are also really successful in this. And then we had supported 4 film festivals in Europa cinemas. We had supported 14 cinemas, and in audience development projects we have supported 6 projects, but actually it's 1 market that won in each year. So as for the distribution of European audiovisual works, we had supported up to 100 European films in Serbia. And we had 7 distributors that won the support in distribution, 1 industry program, and 5 years of the consecutive support. So this is, let's say, everything. And sorry for my English because I don't use it often because of this Corona thing. We are only staying in Serbia.
Thank you, but we didn't see your slide because the presentation remained on the first page. So it was really clear, but just to...
okay. I don't know what happened because I made it to be...
It was really, really clear. Okay, now we see. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you again, Una.
Thank you also for inviting me.
And after Serbia, I will give the floor to, I will ask to Una to stop the sharing of the presentation of the screen. And I will give the floor to Martina for data of Croatia in the previous program, 2014-2020.
Before I start sharing my screen, I will just echo what Kamen already mentioned, because we really need more dialogue between not only us desks, but also our stakeholders from all countries with the European Commission and the European Parliament, because we all contribute to this overall cultural diversity. So sometimes, you know, they see us from small countries that we're all the time complaining that we haven't received enough money, that our projects were not supported in comparison to the projects coming from medium and high capacity countries. But what also Kamen highlighted is that on one hand, without media, our countries and our projects would not be as visible as without the media program, because it's also backing up the national funding. And unfortunately, in our countries only have one funding in terms of the national film centers. We don't have regional film centers, and our TV stations are not so keen on supporting our own projects. So for this reason, we have these problematics receiving more projects being supported in the TV programming scheme. But on the other hand, what we are trying all the time to highlight, and what Kamen mentioned in the metaphorical way with the doors, is that we are trying to kind of signal that we don't have access to all calls, which means that sometimes when the projects come from our countries, they cannot fulfill the eligibility criteria, and it's a bit difficult to promote all calls all the time. So basically, in our countries, we always have the usual suspects. So the single development, now called co-development scheme, is number one. Then we have festivals and distribution, but here we can also enter the discussion because the transparency of the results is also something that is lacking. And what I'm trying to say, for example, we all included Europa cinemas in the results at the national level, but it's very difficult to find the direct results on the website of the Europa cinemas, which cinemas, how much money they withdrawn from the media program, because Europa cinemas is directly funded by the media subprogram. So those are the things that I wanted to highlight before I enter into my presentation. So share, and then I move all the buttons from current slide. Yes. So of course, you probably did it as well for the national authorities and for all the press and the PR. I prepared a 7-year report of the Croatian overall results. And I'm sorry, I was doing this in Canva, but when I switched to the PowerPoint and being shared on the screen, some differences are here, but the numbers are important to highlight. So I compared the total results, and then I went into the Croatian results. So basically, those 11 calls were targeted, and I would say the projects were selected within the 11 out of 14 calls with the most challenging year, 2020. And this was, I don't know, it's fascinating in our countries when we have the most difficult surrounding with the COVID-19, we are the most successful. So out of those 7 years, Croatians were the most successful in 2020, having to withdraw 2.2 million euros out of 11 calls. And this was our goal, to enter the most of the calls of the total 14. And 366 projects were supported in the 7-year period, with 70 organizations applying and having a 7 million euros as a total. Here, not only Europa Cinemas results are included, but also the pilot project scheme. This is also another thing that I wanted to highlight. Sometimes the European Commission introduces the pilot projects like cinemas as innovation hubs, and then they're testing how we are doing and dealing with such calls. But it's important, if we find it relevant and important, to keep it and to continue with such projects to be supported throughout the years. So hopefully this will happen also with the Writing European Call. Thanks God that I have the video, so to skip all those differences in letters and numbers. But our number one when it comes to Croatian results are definitely single and slate schemes, being supported with a total of 1.8 million euros. So in this whole period, 49 film and TV series, including one short animated film in the slate funding scheme, were supported. But if you take into consider the distribution scheme and sales agent support, only 2 Croatian films were sold to bigger markets and territories throughout the 7 years, despite the fact that 49 films and TV series were supported. This is also what Carmen also wanted to highlight. TV programming, yes, it's a quite demanding scheme, and luckily in 2020, Croatian TV series The Last Socialist Artifact, which actually won this year the award and Serious Mania Forum, was the success Croatian story. And we also have another TV series called Border, but it was as a partner in the TV programming scheme. Then all of a sudden, after a hit in 2019, in 2020, we had 3 video games to be supported. This is another thing to highlight, that we also need to focus on different stakeholders, and the game developers are also part of the new program. Film festivals are after single and slate and distribution on the 3rd place in terms of the money. And also was quite successful besides the single film festival support, also in the European Festival Network. So a total of 823,000 euros. We had 14 cinemas being supported in Europa Cinemas with 723 million of euros. Continuous training, the only scheme is the Zagreb Docs Pro, taking place at Zagreb Docs Festival, and this is the distribution. I calculated automatic, selective and online with 1.9 million of euros. Cinemas as innovation hubs for local communities. We were quite successful because out of 4 projects being supported, out of 5 projects being supported, 5 Croatian organizations participated in the 4 selected projects. When it comes to the office, we all know that we are some kind of this buffer between the European Commission and stakeholders, and we are trying really to bring everything on time and right on time and all the info. But my colleagues could also back me up. Sometimes it's really difficult, especially in this challenging year, to get the only information with the new portal and the novelties as well. I also highlight out of all applications from organizations, this gender equality is also important, and one of the horizontal lines to be supported throughout the new calls. And 13 female producers and 10 female directors participated in 23 Croatian film and TV series. But now, so to back myself up with a bit mess in terms of the letters and numbers, let's have a look at the video. I was trying to be fast and furious, so yeah, you are all inside the book as well. Yeah, thank you.
Wow, really inspiring this video, and really a lot of numbers and faces also, no? In a smart way, let's say. So thank you, Martina, for your presentation, and I will continue with some figures from Italy. So I don't know if you can see it. Okay, we have this first slide, which is about the total amount requested in in the 7 year in Italy, and the amount granted. So first insight is on distribution. So the big part of the cake goes to distribution with both the automatic and the selective, and then we have a good performance also in the training with 6.5 million euros. The support to producer with the single slate and TV programming, and then video game only 1 million, promotion 3 million euros, including all the schemes. This is the result of our group, work group between our 3 desks in Italy. So desk in Bari, in Rome, and in Turin. We did a joint publication as Martina did, but we miss a video, a nice video as the Croatian one, and we did it about the impact. We were inspired by the UK colleagues. We did a different impact of the Creative Europe program. So it was a joint publication, both for media and for culture, and of course the transsectorial sector. It was really interesting with really a lot of contribution and a lot of interviews to beneficiary, and it is available unfortunately only in Italian on our website. There is an executive summary in English, but the total publication is in Italian. This is the total in Europe and Italy. So as you can see, same level in terms of the importance of distribution, training, and production. And this is the average amount, the amount received per year since 2014 till 2020. The average is more or less 7 million, with a percentage considering 100 million euro per year as the contribution, the total contribution for the media subprogram. So it's more or less 6 or 7% of the cake. I did a focus on the development to 2014-2020. So project selecting in Europe were more or less 900 projects. In Italy, 57%, so 6% of considering the total. Here there is a comparison of projects selected considering the big 5, as Martina said in the presentation in the introduction. So the big 5 capacity country. First one is for sure the France, then Germany, Spain, Italy with 57, and UK. And then you have same as Martina did in the presentation, a distinction per genre, considering Europe and considering Italy. So in Italy we have this 39% for fiction projects, documentary the 50%, and only 11% for animation. Here per year, how many projects were selected for the development always. So in the last year, 141 projects. And then there is another clear aspect which influenced our performances since 2014. So the automatic points that were given now to low capacity country and medium capacity countries till 2017. So 10 for low capacity countries, 5 for medium, and 0 for the big 5. And now this is a presentation who explain how it has influenced the selection process. It's our it's an objective explanation, let's say. So, but you can see, since there were no more automatic points, the performances were higher in 2018, 2019 and 2020. And here, in terms of contribution, same procedure, same analysis, let's say. And that's all. We considering also what has been said by Martina about we will see then an in-depth analysis on the development single project, slate, mini slate, and TV programming, considering producer. Something that it was difficult for us in Italy was for sure the TV programming, because there were good performances for documentaries, but we had the problem of the sharing of rights, with the broadcaster. So only with My Brilliant Friends, which was a really good success, really a success story in the media program for TV programming, with this agreement with the main broadcaster in Italy, which is Rai. We had the opportunity to hire our performances and our contribution for a fiction project, for a TV series, let's say. But before, it was really difficult, and only for the documentary we had some projects selected. Another good point is the development, which was inspiring the importance of the development, the importance of having a good story, and wasting, let's say, giving a lot of importance to the development of the project in media. We have different opportunities, not only with the development, but also with the importance given to markets and to training, to invest in this sense in the development. And in Italy, in the last year, except from I would say the contribution for the development for our ministry, the direction of the cinema direction. We had also some regional funds, which was crucial, for our project, especially in the south of Italy, to invest since the beginning of a project. So I think that really media was inspiring for us. If you consider also the introduction of the Guarantee Facility Fund, in Italy, and also in general in the sector, there was also the introduction of a different perspective in this way, to understand really which are the needs of the sector, which are the needs of producer, distributor, and in general organization operating in this sector. So I think I don't know if there are some questions from our public. If not, I will go on analyzing the first scheme, which is the European co-development, and I will start with my presentation again. So. The European co-development replaces the development single project. We saw national performances with my colleagues. So now it is called European co-development, justifying the importance of having on board, or when you apply, when you present your application, having on board already a contract with a co-development. It was already foreseen, let's say, having a letter of interest a producer, let's say, in the previous program, but now it was formalized with the contract, let's say. In terms of eligibility of participant, everything remains more or less the same. So independent European audiovisual production company, which is not controlled by an audiovisual media service provider. Applicant must demonstrate a recent experience. A previous work since 2014 of an animation, fiction, or documentary project of minimum 24 minutes. So in terms of track record, which was released in cinema, broadcast on TV or on platform in at least 3 countries. So in the previous program was only one, excluding the national distribution, let's say, so abroad. Before the deadline, also for submission with broadcaster, same stuff. So this is an important element which is not easy to reach, and the distribution should be a commercial one, so excluding festival, same as the previous program. The most important one, as I said before, is having on board already a co-producer, a co-development, so at least 2 applicants from 2 different media countries. So a project leader, a coordinator, plus the partner. And also there could be other partner for sure, but it could not be affiliated entities. They will have of course, they should be present in the budget, and we will see later. So what about eligible activities? Feature film, animation,
Andrea, sorry, can you make it maybe full screen?
Yeah, sorry. So this is intended, the development as usual, for both for cinematic release, television or digital platform exploitation. So considering the distribution, you will have a minimum length, so 60 minutes for cinema, and then fiction project 90 minutes, animation 24 minutes, and then documentaries 50 minutes, considering television. Then interactive, non-linear fiction, animation, or creative documentary project of any duration. Another important element was the 10 months. You have to consider the 10 months after the deadline to go into production. So the first day of principal photography. In the previous program was only 8 months. Now it's higher, it's 10 months. So it's an important element to consider. And then the project leader or the partner should have the majority of rights related to the project. The duration of the project is maximum 30 months, considering the eligible cost, which should incur, of course, once the agreement is signed with the European Commission. There could be also a retroactivity of cost, but it should be duly justified by the producer. This year, milestone and deliverable and work packages were introduced. So you need to consider in your application how to explain your activity. What will you do in the 10 months before after applying, considering the work packages. So the Commission gave a structure. So VP1, project management and common activity. So considering the 2 partners, the common activity between the 2 partners, or maybe more partners, the project coordinator development activities, and the partner 1 development activities. So these first 3 are mandatory. To give an example about deliverable, which are, let's say, the product, the output of your planned activity, the European Commission and the agency on the guidelines gave us an example, of deliverable, what is considered a deliverable. So both for WP1, WP2, and following work packages, you have an example of what is a deliverable, what is considered a deliverable. The maximum EU grant will be 60,000 euros for every project, except for TV series, which is 100,000 euros, considering a budget of a total production budget of at least 20 million euros, so only for TV series. But let's say that the logic is that the evaluators in Brussels will consider your development budget and
It seems like internet stopped.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now it's okay. Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
Sorry. So you will apply this 50%, and if this amount is higher of 60,000 euro, this is the ceiling. So even if it's higher, only 60,000 euro will be given to every partner. So this is the grant which will be given to every partner. So considering you as a lead applicant and the partner or partners, let's say. In terms of the evaluation, there is this attention which is given to low capacity country, both for Group B and Group A. So in the evaluation grid, you will have for the relevance, which is 40 points, 10 points to the European dimension of the collaboration, in particular considering the cooperation between countries with different market size and including a partner from Group A or Group B, as well as the linguistic and geographical diversity. So this is an example in terms of measures for the level playing field. The overall threshold, so to receive the funding, you will have, you need to have to reach at least 70 points out of 100 to be considered, to be selected. Kamen before spoke about the slate development, which is challenging for sure, but after Martina will explain us the mini slate call, I will give only a few lines about the slate development, which remains more or less the same. So the development of minimum 3 and maximum 5 eligible works, plus the opportunity to include a short of maximum 20 minutes, which is optional, of course, to launch a talent. Then you have a mini slate, as I said before, eligible works, animation, creative documentary or fiction projects for commercial exploitation. And you need to have as a track record to be eligible 2 previous work distributed in at least 3 countries. Same stuff for the production, for the first day of principal photography, with the introduction of the 10 months after the deadline to go into production. This is the minimum length, depending on the projects, so animation, documentary, and fiction, and depending on the distribution, so cinema, TV, or non-linear projects. And here you will have the fixed lump sum, considering so the one-off or series, and animation, documentary, and fiction. This is you will have you can read the guideline on our website, even if there were the guidelines, the scheme for 2021. It's easy. It's a good tool to know more about the slate development. Another important, in terms of eligibility, I forgot to mention that there is no more the rule of the 36-month regarding the production company. TV and online content, it replaces the TV programming scheme. It's about production, only intended for TV or online exploitation. Broadcasters were included as main partner of the project. The minimum length, 90 minutes, 24 minutes, and for creative documentaries, 50 minutes. And we saw before that it is quite challenging in terms of eligibility, because you will need to have a minimum the involvement of broadcaster, both linear and non-linear, minimum 2 from 2 media countries, a contract or binding letter of commitments for sure. In terms of right, the rights will have to go back to the producer in at least in maximum 7 years for a pre-sale, and a maximum 10 years in case of co-production. Then you will have a minimum of 40% of financing guaranteed from third parties, with a binding letter of commitment, as I said before, broadcaster, distributor funds, and equity investor. So what is intended for third-party sources, and it excluded the producer and co-producer own investment. So it is really important. In terms of contribution, once you apply, you need to have a minimum of 50% who come from media countries, so 50%. And the contribution is for, there is a same rule applying, so the 50% of the co-financing, and with the maximum ceiling for documentary of 300,000 euros, animation 500,000 euro, fiction for fiction project and series based on the production budget. You will have the different contribution depending on the production budget. In the evaluation grid, as I did before for the European co-development, always in the relevance, 30 points. You will have 5 points in 1B of the relevance box for European co-production. So there is a special attention for cooperation between countries for different market size, including a partner from low capacity country, Group A and Group B, and distribution of the media grant among co-producers. So this is another important element considering the measure for level playing field. And I will stop here with my presentation, and I will give the floor to Martina for the other schemes.
Let me share my screen. Since we are a bit over time, I will be really fast. I just want to highlight something for all calls, and again, apologies for some exclamation marks not being in the right place. But I would like to warn also our participants at today's meeting that it's important to really get familiar with the new funding and tenders portal, because this is what we as desks are experiencing right now as a lot of stress, and it's really not as simplified as we wished for. So first, get familiar with the funding and tenders portal. Everything is at the level of lump sums, so no more minimum or maximum amount, and the threshold is throughout all calls 70 out of 100 points. So this is basically all more or less the same. Of course, that I have some issues here and it's not moving. Just a second, something is wrong with the presentation, and it's not collaborating with me. The countries we discussed, and basically for the mini slate, it's important that it's open also now for Poland. And as you can see in Group B, when it comes to the audiovisual production capacity countries, we also have a new country, a newcomer, Liechtenstein. In terms of what is different, so basically the slate is open to all countries, and mini slate it's open to 21 plus 4, 22 audiovisual capacity countries, because now we have Liechtenstein. And more or less this is all the same. And in comparison to the co-development is the mono-beneficiary, which means that one production company is applying for a specific role. Once you are a coordinator for slate, mini slate or co-development, you really need to choose carefully. If you apply for the mini slate, you cannot then again apply for slate or co-development as coordinator, but the co-development gives you also an opportunity to be partner on different projects.
Martina, sorry, we can't see your presentation. Just
you can't see it. Just a second. So okay, something is not going right. Let me just put it down. Okay, which is strange. Share. Okay. Play from the start. Okay, so this is what I mentioned: registration, lump sums, threshold 70 out of 100.
We only see your folder with the different presentation, Martina.
It's not opening for some strange reason.
Maybe you can share the screen at the beginning once you.
Yeah. Do you see it now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay. So countries are explained. Mini slate and slate, I explained that it's more or less similar, just that the countries that are participating are the low audiovisual capacity. And basically, in comparison to the co-development, the production company is mono-beneficiary. And once you applied for slate or mini slate or co-development as the coordinator, you need to choose to which call you are applying for. But when it comes to the co-development, you can be partner on various projects. So when it comes to the mini slate, you need to show the distribution of one audiovisual work in being distributed in 3 different non-national countries, including online platforms, so cinema, TV, or digital. And basically, I will not go into details because all this is the same for the slate. And as Andrea mentioned, in terms of the groupings and the films, so for the mini slate, it's between 2 and 3 projects that you can have in the package, and including the short. So I'm also encouraging producers from Croatia and all over to include those emerging and new talent via the production of the short film, because you can get 10,000 euros. And I would like to highlight the second cluster. It's the business cluster. And here it's important to underline the training in terms of the talents and skills. And the new component is that there is an increase of media co-financing to maximum of 80% of the funding. And in terms of the scholarships, so those that were successful, the most successful countries in the last period and being part of the Group A, so their participants can no longer acquire scholarships to the training initiatives, which is a bit awkward because some of the countries at the national level do not offer as a backup in terms of participating in the different training initiatives. When it comes to the markets and networking, so basically, more or less, it remains the same. Just now, we are encouraging also activities focusing on gender balance and greening. And for the applicants, it's important that Action 1 and 2 has been merged. However, there is a reduction of media co-financing up to 60% of financing in comparison to the last period of 80%. So I'm going to stop here so that we can leave also some space for the questions from the audience. A lot of information has been shared, so let's see.
I don't see any question.
It seems everything is clear.
I have a question. Please, Martina.
Can she raise a hand and then ask maybe with her voice, not in writing? I think Andrea is a bit having problem with internet connection. Francesca, can you maybe help out so that we hear Martina?
Yes, I'm trying to let Martina Starace speak. Now I'm asking.
Yeah, she's in.
Okay.
Please,
Okay.
Martina.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know if I'm going to ask questions which are related to your presentation, but I have three questions in general. First of all, I work for APA, audiovisual producers, here in Italy, and I just studied a little bit Europa Creativa Media, the website. I'm new in this field, so I'm just trying to do my best and to get informed. And I saw, I don't know how to say it in English, maybe announcement, bando, maybe announcement, and I just wanted to know when, if you can tell me possible dates, can be published some new announcements, which could be interesting for producers here in Italy, for example, first of all.
Do you have another question, or do you want us to reply now?
Yes, I have another question, which is which are the main characteristics, I don't know, in the future? And
which are the main characteristics
of the announcements which will be published on the Europa Creativa, maybe in the next weeks or month? And the third one, due to the fact that I'm talking as APA member, okay, I just wanted to know if it could be possible to receive maybe in advance a notification that an announcement will be published in the next days, so that I can inform, for example, my members.
Okay.
That's all. I promise.
Thank you, Martina.
Thank you too.
Can I reply, or Martina Kamen Una wants to add something about the dates or main changes in 2022?
From what we know, from what we all know in our Creative Europe desk, we are waiting for the working program of the Commission and the agency, the executive agency, audiovisual, culture and education. So the working program is the document in which all the calls are structured and put in one document. After the document is voted or accepted, I don't know exactly the procedure, but it will be published, and all the calls will be also available as dates. Then we will have the date of publication, the deadline, etc. Probably for the next question, Martina, or you, Andrea.
Yeah, we are waiting, as Kamen said, for the work program, which will be, we hope, at the end of the year or the beginning of 2022. So we are still waiting for the Commission to give us more detail about the timeline in general of the publication of the new calls. So as far as we know, we did also the presentation of this scheme starting from what we had in 2021. So these are the main, this is the main structure, let's say. So we can't say anything till the work program is published. Regarding the how to receive a feed from us, it is possible to register to our newsletter in our website, and then you can receive. We did it once every 2 weeks with all the news from our call for media call for proposal, so the publication and the deadlines. And also an important thing is the news from the deadline to participate to markets and training and festival. So we give a lot of information on what is happening at not only at the national level but also at a European level, and then I put on the chat the publication box, including the impact of Creative Europe 1420, so the previous program. If you want to have a look, and then I think that's all.
If I may just add, maybe just to explain the procedure. So this week there was the management committee of our national authorities, which means that they're discussing at the national and political level with the representatives of the European Commission. Once agreed in terms of the new work program, then it's forwarded to the members of the European Parliament, and it needs to pass this voting procedure. What was promised that by the end of this year, I really hope that it's going to be by the end of this month and the beginning of December, all calls will be published, assuming that you're representing producers in Italy. So you're mostly interested in the content cluster in terms of co-development, slate, TV and online. And what is important to know is that each call will have only one deadline. It was not the case before with, for example, the single project development. It had 2 deadlines. Now all calls are having one deadline only. And this year, the European Commission or the agency as an operational body did not publish all calls. So we are going to have also hopefully, as I say, as soon as possible, the call for the video games, this new media 360, but also art and subtitling and festival networks are probably the calls that are going to be all included. So there are there is a total of 16 calls to be published.
Thank you, Martina, and thank you, Kamen. I don't know if I see Martina again with a raised hand. So if there is another question, if not, Martina, can you hear me? Do you have another question? We can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
So just to recap, because as I said, I'm new, there will be announcement in the end of November, maybe at the beginning of December, they will be announced.
Right.
Okay, and just to have notification before, I have to submit my registration to your newsletter so that I can get informed that maybe 2 weeks before it will be published.
That's a good tool to be for an update, let's say, because our main instrument in terms of promotion of our of media calls is our newsletter. Then we have also Facebook, our website, so we can keep in touch for sure.
Okay, and sorry, the very last question. I didn't understand very well the precise, for example, details a producer may have to participate to an announcement. Are there any specific details or something he has to know before applying for an announcement that will be published? I don't know, a main characteristic of his project or something he may know before applying?
Yeah, I don't know. You have to be for sure a European producer, independent. Martina, do you want to add?
Yeah, I mean, this is what we were now highlighting through the co-development slate and mini slate, the important eligibility criteria, but I'm sure that you can consult the website of Media Desk Italy, and maybe Andrea, this is just a suggestion, together with Francesca, to organize a specific info day when the calls are published. Don't worry, this time you will have deadlines are going to be in the next year. So once published, I hope that you will, I mean, it's going to be quite well structured, because this year it was really stressful because there was too little time in terms when there was a publishment of the calls and the deadline. For example, the producers only had 1 month or so to prepare the projects. So now we hope for the best, that they are going to publish them in December, but then you will have the deadline next year, 2022. So there will be enough time with my dear colleagues from Media Desk Italy to organize a specific info day for you producers.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, because I don't know, I saw this last announcement and there was a deadline on the 17th of November. So I had so many time to spread this information to my producers, so it was impossible for them to eventually participate. That's why I was also asking about the deadline. It's a very important figure.
Yeah, for sure, it is.
In December, something will be published.
Yes.
Yeah, but we can keep in touch already now, because there is this deadline for the European co-development that you can also read the guidelines, and if you have any doubt, you can write to us. So we are at your disposal. So it's our job.
May I just jump in? Sometimes, how shall I say, we organize info days, but it's also important that you do your homework on your behalf, because you also need to read the guidelines first so that we can answer your questions. Because if you don't read, then there is not the same communication level. So please first read the guidelines, and I hope that you were taking the notes also for what Andrea was also highlighting in terms of the co-development slate and TV. So check the guidelines first, and then come back to Andrea and the colleagues in the Media Desk Italy for further questions. It's important that you...
Okay, and the guidelines are inside the last announcement with the deadline on the 17th of November. I can get the deadlines here.
The only call which is ongoing. So if you go on our website, europacreativa-media.it, you can find that the only one the only call which is open is the European co-development. And then there is also another box in which you have all the calls, all the scheme. So if you want to consult, and then you can write to us if you have any doubt, or if you want to know more about this call.
Okay. So for the moment, it's important to be registered on the newsletter to have notifications for new announcements.
Yeah, and you have my contact for sure. You have the contact of the Rome office and the Turin office, which are on our contact box in our website. So we're always there.
Okay, I will bother you at the beginning of December.
Even earlier, if you want. We are here.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
So, any other question? No.
I think I saw Anoa coming in and leaving, but
yeah. I saw before. Our colleague from the Basque Country, from media. What to do? Martina, Carmen, Una, do you want to add something?
let's start with Una.
I don't have nothing to add. Thank you. This was very useful also for me because I'm new in this course and everything. So this was also useful for me. Thank you.
Always welcome, Ona. Well, I think we have to go to the logical end of our meeting because we are over the time.
Yeah.
From my part, I would like to say thank you first of all to the organizers, to Andrea and the festival in Lecce, to Martina with this very detailed and fantastic presentation of the calls and of course the national success stories. But also thank you very much to our attendees. They were not so much, but probably that was a busy day for the people during the festival. Thank you, dear participants, and please, if you have questions, we are in every country, in every city almost. You're always welcome to ask us your questions. Thank you.
And now we can share this event, this panel on our YouTube channel. So it's always a good moment to share what has been said today and to reinforce also our network, create new contacts. So thank you again to everyone. I will say hello to Aino Gonzalez Sachis from Basque Country and to Anna Kasimati from Greece. And
hello. May I just also say before your closing words, I mean, I know that we are all over the place with all kinds of events, but thank you for being patient with us and for organizing this and closing this week with the event. And I'm really looking forward to meet you, all of you soon, including Anna and I know physically. So this is the beauty of collaboration between us desks, and we share the same challenges, and we really encourage all of you now to in terms of the applicants to collaborate, because this will bring an added value to the whole program. So thank you, Andrea.
Thank you, Martina. Thank you all. Thank you, Gama and Una, and see you soon. Bye.